Hello gentlemen, Simon Bard here, and welcome back to a regular movie review. During the 90s, Disney had made animated sequels to their classic films on home video, and continues to do so on DVD. And a majority of them can't top the original, are often forgettable, or come out as guilty pleasures. And of course, no one cares of their existence. However, there is one film that is surprisingly good, and one that not that many people know about. It is the Winnie the Pooh film known as Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. The movie is inspired by the Winnie the Pooh stories from A.A. Milne, and the main plot is used years later, though altered, in the most recent Winnie the Pooh film. Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin spend the last day of summer together, in which Pooh says that the two of them will be together forever and ever. Yet Christopher Robin tells Pooh that if he's away, he'll always be with him, and reminds him that he's braver than he believes, stronger than he seems, and smarter than he thinks. But on the first day of autumn, Pooh finds a honeypot outside his house, and thinks it's for someone else. Unfortunately, Pooh can't find Christopher Robin to tell about the honey, until he notices a note on it that's covered and smeared with honey. So he, Piglet, Tigger, Rabbit, and Eeyore go to Owl to see what the note says. And he states that Christopher Robin went far away, needs help, and went to what's known as Skull. And wanting to rescue their human friend, Owl sends the four animals toward the great unknown to search for Christopher Robin, and try to avoid what's known as Skullosaurus through perilous places along the way. When I saw this as a kid, I really loved it for its comedy, its music, its songs, everything. But nowadays it kind of lingers a bit, but it's still enjoyable. And most of the enjoyment comes from the songs. Forever and ever, adventure is a wonderful thing, if it says so, so it is, wherever you are, and everything is right. They each have good messages, fun visuals, great music, and vocals. Though the message in Rabbit's song, though true in some respects, can be somewhat backwards when thinking about it. The animation for the film is pretty good too. It's pretty smooth and flowing, and it certainly has the right amount of colors, look, and atmosphere to it. And the honey feels very much like honey, being all sticky and sappy than just a water-like substance in the TV show. In fact, the story has some good ideas and insight with the characters. And it is relevant from when Skull is mentioned to the end of the film. It's the idea of that when you're alone and frightened, you tend to imagine the most harmful of things to be the most terrifying. And that idea does carry on with not just this movie, but with other Pooh shows and films. To where the imagination plays a huge part of it all, leading to a lesson that's kind of timeless for kids, and sometimes adults. And Winnie the Pooh has plenty in common with other shows that use imagination to have fun and learn a lesson, like Muppet Babies and the Backyardigans. But let's not get carried away. But the major difference from the other Pooh movies is that it ignored the basic formula it has. Most of the other Pooh movies had a formula that made the film a little more fun and added a certain touch to it. Breaking the fourth wall, interacting with the words in the book, opening and ending the movie in Christopher Robin's live-action nursery, etc. But this film has none of that, which makes it unique and stand out from the rest. It treats itself like a full-length version of the TV show. Even the music has a similar feel to the show. It's very calm in some points, but it's also quite silly in others. It becomes dark when it needs to be, but it can also be lighthearted as well. It's all a pretty good mix. And the actors voicing the characters did a great job. Jim Cummings voices Winnie the Pooh, Bradley Blum voices Christopher Robin, John Fedler voices Piglet, Paul Winchell voices Tigger, Ken Sampson voices Rabbit, Peter Cullen voices Eeyore, Andre Stojak voices Owl, and David Warner voices the narrator. As a whole, this movie is wonderful. The characters are great, the story is well done, the animation is pretty good, and the songs are pretty nice. Director Carl Gears has done a delightful job at making a Winnie the Pooh movie that's more of a structured narrative than a compilation of stories, like the first feature-length film. Despite it not having a theatrical release, it's still a marvelous and charming film that in many respects should have been released in theaters. It's all pretty heartwarming, fun, sad, and joyous all together. And out of all the other Winnie the Pooh films I've seen, this one could be my favorite out of all of them. So today, this movie we give a rating of 3 stars. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, and tune in next week for a new video.